Hello and welcome to Sansad TV. You're watching a special report on Civil Services Day. I'm Tina Jha. Iron Man of India, Sardar Patel's vision for civil servants as the steel frame of India rings true more than ever in our modern times. It is also his legacy that the Government of India honours on the 21st of April every year as Civil Services Day. It is on this day that the government applauds the outstanding contributions by civil servants across the country. On this day, the Prime Minister honours officers of the central and state governments for their outstanding contributions to public administration. Addressing the 16th Civil Services Day on Friday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi hailed the contribution of civil servants towards nation building. Let's understand the significance and the history of Civil Services Day. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar on Thursday inaugurated the 16th Civil Services Day celebrations at Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi. In his address, the Vice President said, Civil Services Day is an occasion for civil servants to rededicate themselves to the cause of citizens and renew their commitment to excellence in their work. This year's theme for the Civil Services Day is Viksit Bharat, empowering citizens and reaching the last mile.
Civil service is the backbone of our government and plays a crucial role in smooth running of the nation.
Inaugurating the two-day celebrations to mark the 16th Civil Services Day in New Delhi, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar appreciated the contribution of civil servants towards nation building.
Friends, privileged in availing this opportunity to connect with the world's most potent human resource, repository of enormous talent and expertise, you all are commendably engaged in transforming lives of 1/6 of the humanity. As a class, you are role model to millions and powerful influencers for effecting change and growth.
The Vice President advocated uniformity in administration across the Union and the states. He underscored the critical role that top-level civil servants have to play in this direction. He added that rising number of women in public administration will pave the way for a more sensitive and well-rounded bureaucracy.
Like our polity, civil service composition is continually getting more representative, encompassing all societal segments. Some in foreign countries are yet to contend with it, and they think it is not so. But the change is so dramatic, so revolutionary, that it can be felt in every geographical area of our country. Now, young talent from remote villages, from humble families, from marginalized communities is joining the civil service. These young people have closely seen for themselves the positive role that public administration plays in eradicating poverty and improving chances of realizing their full potential. It is also heartening to see that more and more talented young women are joining the civil service, ready to face challenges of public administration. I have no doubt their presence will be very wholesome, will lead to a more sensitive and well-rounded bureaucracy.
Acknowledging the significant role played by civil services, the Vice President, however, noted that despite passing the toughest exam, monetary benefits for civil servants are not comparable to other alternatives available to them.
That even after succeeding in the toughest exam, the fiscal benefits of civil servants are not comparable to the alternatives available. However, there is something unique and special about civil services that make it envy of your peers in the alternatives. It affords you sublime and godly opportunity to serve the people and bring about upliftment. You are significant stakeholders in ensuring progress of the nation and so positioned to improve the lives of our citizens. You are the most visible and effective agents of change that is dotting our landscape.
Describing India as the largest and mother of democracy, the Vice President said that our democracy is the most functional and vibrant at all levels. He added that our level of freedom of expression is next to none and there is no tangible reflection of enforced silence.
Our level of freedom of expression is next to none, and most of you must have felt it. Not because of you, but you are aware of it. Can there be a greater freedom of expression than what we have in this country? I'm sure no one can match us. I therefore dare say there is no tangible reflection of unforced silence as some keen to be voicing. It indicates their disconnect with the ground reality. How can in the largest democracy and mother of democracy there be unforced silence?
The Vice President also lauded the bureaucracy for bringing about development through hard work and zeal.
You are put in a position by the toughest examination, I say. And trust me, there is no one in the country who can say, I never aspired to hold your position. He may be anyone in judiciary, legislature, or any walk of life or industry. His dream always would have been to get into the shoes which you are wearing. I would therefore say, media bug has afflicted some in the civil service. There is need for systemic guidance by your structured association. Trust me, it is never rewarding.
The Vice President noted that on this day in 1947, the Iron Man of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, had referred to the civil servants as the steel frame of India.
It was on this day in 1947, the Iron Man of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, referred to the civil servants as the steel frame of India. The executors of the policies of the government of the day, a pillar on which the wheel of governance that churns policies and programs for the country.
The Vice President also congratulated the award winners for their well-deserved recognition, saying their success stories will certainly inspire and motivate many civil servants. He asserted that it is the responsibility of the Parliament to safeguard India's national sovereignty and cultural integrity.
Have my assurance, and I say it with emphasis, before the august audience, Parliament alone is in charge of legislation and competent to enforce it. Legislation is exclusive preserve of the Parliament, the most authentic reflector of the mindset and will of the people at large. It is not optional, it is not negotiable, and that shall not be allowed to happen.
Union Minister for the Department of Personnel and Training, Dr. Deependra Singh, and other government dignitaries from various departments were also present at the event.
When Sardar Patel first time addressed the civil servants, he made a very meaningful observation, and I quote, "Your predecessors have been brought up in the tradition in which they kept themselves aloof from the common run of the people, and it will be your bound duty to treat the common man of India as your own." Much has changed since then. Rather, I would say the change began at the midnight of freedom itself, with the very fact that the collector came to be known as District Development Commissioner. He was known as a collector because he collected revenue for the British Empire. We call him a District Development Commissioner because he is supposed to collect revenue for the welfare state. And thereafter, The accountability has increased, the transparency has increased.
The Vice President also inaugurated the exhibition on Good Governance Practices in India Awarded Initiatives. The exhibition showcases path-breaking governance reforms that have transformed India over the last 9 years under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership.
Prime Minister Modi addressed civil servants on the occasion of Civil Services Day on Friday. He also gave away the Prime Minister's Awards for Excellence in Public Administration to 16 people.
On the 16th Civil Services Day, Prime Minister Modi urged civil servants to make decisions keeping only the country's benefit in mind. He noted that Civil Services Day this year is all the more special as the nation completes 75 years of its independence and is marching ahead to achieve the goals of a developed India.
मैं अक्सर कहता हूं कि देश में ब्यूरोक्रेसी वही है, अधिकारी कर्मचारी वही है, लेकिन परिणाम बदल गए। पिछले 9 वर्षों में भारत अगर विश्व पटल पर एक विशिष्ट भूमिका में आया है तो इसमें आप सबका सहयोग बड़ा महत्वपूर्ण रहा है। विकसित भारत के लिए आवश्यक है भारत का हर सरकारी कर्मचारी देशवासियों के सपनों को सच करने में उनकी मदद करे।
The Prime Minister also highlighted the contributions of civil servants and expressed confidence that the young officers are extremely fortunate to serve the nation in this Amrit Kal.
आपको इस कालखंड में देश की सेवा करने का मौका मिला है। आजादी के अमृत काल में देश के स्वाधीनता सेनानियों के सपनों को पूरा करने का दायित्व हम सभी पर है। हमारे पास समय कम है, लेकिन सामर्थ्य भरपूर है। हमारे लक्ष्य कठिन है, लेकिन हौसला कम नहीं है। हमें पहाड़ जैसी ऊंचाई भले चढ़नी है, लेकिन इरादे आसमान से भी ऊंचे, ज्यादा ऊंचे हैं।
Modi also conferred the Prime Minister's Awards for Excellence in Public Administration. The awards recognize the innovative work for public welfare done by districts and organizations of the central and state governments. He also released 2 volumes of the e-book Viksit Bharat, Empowering Citizens and Reaching the Last Mile. Union Minister Jeetendra Singh was also present during the occasion.
April 21st is Civil Services Day, a day devoted to celebrate the public services rendered by civil servants. Now, these are the people who work selflessly in public administration. But do you know how the day is celebrated and why is it celebrated on this day? Let's find out in this report.
Civil Service Day was first observed in 2006. It happened to be April 21st, the day when Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel addressed probationary officers of the Indian Administrative Services in 1947. Referring to civil servants as the steel frame of India, Patel urged them to pledge their commitment to public service and excellence in work. Since then, civil servants have functioned at various levels of the government, acting as the backbone of the nation's administrative system. Over the years, civil servants have taken the pledge to transform governance on Civil Service Day, while implementing public policies to make India Atmanirbhar. The complete list of All India Services and Central Services Group A and Group B makes up India's civil services. It includes the Indian Administrative Service, Indian Police Service and the Indian Foreign Service. Besides this, there are 13 positions under UPSC Group A services that includes Indian Audit and Accounts Services, Indian Corporate Law Services, Indian Defence Accounts Services, Indian Information Services among others. The Group B services of the UPSC includes Pondicherry Civil Services, DANIPS among others. On Civil Services Day, officers are encouraged to work more efficiently for the public. 2006, the Centre instituted the Prime Minister's Awards for Excellence in Public Administration. These are given to the most hardworking individuals and groups. The awards acknowledge, recognize and reward extraordinary and innovative work done by districts and central and state organizations. In 2016, the scheme was restructured to recognize the performance of district collectors in priority programs, innovations and aspirational districts. It was further changed in 2020 to recognize the contribution of district collectors towards economic development. The awards were revamped in 2021 with an objective to encourage constructive competition, innovation, replication and best practices. Accordingly, the emphasis was shifted from achieving quantitative targets to good governance, qualitative achievement and last-mile connectivity.
Over the years, the Indian civil service has remained a step ahead amidst the fast-paced changes across the world. It has done this with timely reforms that have enhanced capacity building and positioned it to deliver better governance.
Civil servants play a vital role in formulating effective policy and executing cutting-edge delivery. Timely reforms have increased its capacity to efficiently implement policies. Reforms have been a continuous feature for the civil services with no general starting point and no end. The capacity building landscape of the current civil services in India has successfully overcome challenges by moving from a rules-based to a roles-based HR management system. Since 2014, the government has strengthened interface with the public through various citizen-centric initiatives, starting with the self-attestation of documents by moving ahead on trust the citizen philosophy, to remove discretion and promote merit. Interviews for non-gazetted and Group C posts were discontinued. To broad-based appointments at the senior level, multi-source 360-degree feedback was introduced. Lateral entry was introduced at senior levels to create the widest talent pool and induct sectoral experts. To enhance governance through civil services capacity building, the path-breaking exercise Arambh was conducted at Statue of Unity, Kevadia on Rashtriya Ekta Divas in 2019. It was followed up with a unique virtual Arambh in October 2020. The National Recruitment Agency was set up in August 2020 to introduce a common entrance test, removing the need for multiple entrance tests, saving time and cost. Besides these, on 2nd September 2020, the government launched Mission Karmyogi in an effort to enhance the civil services under a national program anchored by an apex body headed by the Prime Minister.
मिशन कर्मयोगी कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग की दिशा में अपनी तरह का एक नया प्रयोग है। इस मिशन के जरिए सरकारी कर्मचारियों को उनकी सोच, अप्रोच को आधुनिक बनाना है, उनका स्किल सेट सुधारना है, उन्हें कर्मयोगी बनने का अवसर देना है।
Apart from domain knowledge training, the program focuses on functional and behavioral competencies and includes a monitoring framework for performance evaluations. NPC SCB will be governed by the Prime Minister's Human Resource Council that also includes state chief ministers, union cabinet ministers and experts. The council will approve and review civil services capacity building programs.
Civil services has a long history in India. Almost every empire that ruled the country had a centralized bureaucracy. Over generations, sustained efforts of people brought about many improvements in public administration that became completely Indianized post-independence.
Civil service is an ancient concept in India. In the modern administration, civil servants were known as adhyakshas in order to keep its vast empire intact. The modern administration recruited civil servants on merit. In the Mughal period, state officers took care of the land revenue system. The present Indian administrative structure, however, is largely a legacy of British rule. In the British Raj, Warren Hastings laid the foundation of civil service. Charles Cornwallis reformed and rationalized it. Thereafter, many changes shaped the Indian civil services. Initially, examinations for the Indian civil service were conducted only in London. European classics carried a predominant share of marks in the syllabus. But despite the alien content, in 1864, the first Indian, Satyendranath Tagore, brother of Rabindranath Tagore, passed the exam. 3 years later, 4 other Indians cleared it. It was only after the First World War, from 1922 onwards, the Indian civil service examination began to be held in India. The present modern civil service was formed after the partition of India in 1947, when the Indian civil service came to be replaced by the Indian Administrative Service. The 1935 Act had proposed a Federal Public Service Commission and a Provincial Public Service Commission within their respective spheres. After the Constitution of India took effect on 26 January 1950, the Federal Public Service Commission became the Union Public Service Commission. The chairman and the members of the Federal Public Service Commission became its chairman and members by virtue of Article 378 of the Constitution. Article 312 of the Constitution provides for the creation of All India services common to the Union and the states. Under the All India Services Act 1951, the central government can make rules to regulate the recruitment and the conditions of service of people appointed to the All India services. The Indian Administrative Service, Indian Police Service, and Indian Forest Service were established under this constitutional provision. Recruitment to these services is made under the corresponding AIS recruitment rules. They are done by direct recruitment through the Union Public Service Commission Civil Services Examination and by promotion from the state service.
Known as the patron saint of India's civil servants, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel is the founder of the modern All India Services System. On 21st April 1947, Sardar Patel welcomed the first batch of administrative services, calling them the steel frame of India. Patel laid out the golden principles of good governance for civil servants. In his address at Delhi's Metcalfe House in 1947, this was what he told the civil servants. We leave you with these words of Sardar Patel. Thank you for your time.